All right, so today we're looking at area of a circle. So the area of a circle is when we're going to have, obviously we first looked at the perimeter, that's just the outer edge. Now area is we're finding that area. So remember they will be in, it'll be in squared units. So that what I mean by that, it would be centimetres squared, metres squared, or so on. So we've got to remember that. So our formula for area, if we have a look of a circle, so area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Now be really careful that you know that the radius is from the centre of the circle out to the edge. Okay? If you have the circle and they give you from one side through the middle to the other, that's the diameter, and the diameter is 2 of the radius. So if you want to know if you're trying to find the radius because you've been given the diameter, it'll be the diameter divided by 2. Okay? Now the area formula, you must use the radius. You can't use anything else. It has to be the radius. So if they give you the diameter, you're going to have to halve it or divide it by 2, whichever way you look at it, to get the radius, okay? So that's where they're saying that right there, that your radius is the diameter divided by 2. Okay, now if they ask you, you want to find a sector, that means you're going to find a piece of a circle. So what that means, and it's saying here, including 2 radii. What that means is the radii, I'll just show you what that radii means that line and that line. So really you just need to know that a sector, when you have a circle, yeah, a sector is like a part of it, yeah? Okay, you're just finding a little part of the circle. And what they'll do is they'll tell you you've got an angle. They'll tell you how much of the circle. So if we were thinking about circles and we've got how many degrees in a full circle?
360.
Good, 360 degrees. Sorry. So what you're going to do when you're finding the area of a sector, so right down here we've got area of a sector, you tell me how much out of a full circle you've got. So if they've given you 20 in here, so say for example if that was 20, 20 will go there, okay? So you tell me how much of a full circle, of the full circle, so how much out of 360, and then you times it by pi r squared, because that's the area of a circle. So you just tell it, I've got this much of the circle times the area of the circle. All right, so let's go do some. Okay, so here we're practicing what to tell me what part of the circle you've got. So this is to help you when you do those areas of a sector, it's to help you know how much of the full circle you've got. So remember, if it says what fraction, so remember a full circle is 360. What you're going to do is tell me how many degrees do I have there. If I've only got half the circle, what have I got? Yeah, so 180. If you type that into your calculator, you'll end up seeing it goes down to 1/2. So if you were finding the area of this shape, you would do 1/2 times pi r squared. Yeah? Can you understand that? So the area of a circle, but you only want half of it. Okay, what about here? How much of the circle have you got? 90, good. So if I said I had 90 out of 360, you can write it like that. Or what else? Someone might see it as something else. 1/4, because that's what that simplifies down to. So you could say if you were finding the area of this shape, all I'd say is I've got 1/4 of a circle. So that would be how I find that out. Okay? So with this next one, I have 120 out of 360. Now, it doesn't matter if you simplify it or not. So say you can't see that simplifies down to say 1/3, you can always just say, well, I have 120 out of 360 times pi r squared. Yeah? Doesn't matter. Okay? So you can put that. You could have put over here 180 over 360 times pi r squared. You're still going to get the same answer. Okay? So really, just say how much of the circle you've got and you'll be fine. As you might want to put here, that distance there is the radius, and so is this one. This they'll give you the radius, so that's the radius, and this one from out to here, that could also be the radius. Examples. So it says find the area of the circles correct to 2 decimal places. So we need to be really careful with our final answer. So we're doing these ones to 2 decimal places. Let's have a look. So I always suggest when you're asked to find the area, so maybe we'll write down the formula. Area equals of a circle is pi r squared. Maybe then look at your diagram and just on the side, what's the radius? For this one, 5, they've told us. So from the center to the edge. So down here, I'm going to go pi times 5 squared. So you can go type that in your calculator. So we're going to write the answer. We've got 78.539. Now I wrote 3 there because we want 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places means I need to look at this one. Because this is above 5, this number will go up. So my answer will be 78.54. It was meters and it's squared because it's an area. And there's my final answer. Okay, so over here, if I looked at this question here, I've got another area of a circle. So I write the rule for area of a circle straight up. Then I know I need the radius. So the radius here will be the diameter divided by 2 because they've given me the diameter. So I'm going to do 392 divided by 2. And what do we get the radius to be? So we get the radius to be 1.96. We have to find that because this formula only uses the radius. So pi times 1.96 squared. You don't have to put it in brackets. Your calculator handles it. I'm just doing that so you're very clear that you're squaring that number. Okay, so pop it into your calculator. Okay, so I end up with 12.068. I'm going now because I want 2 decimal places. I look at this. This is above 5, so this will go up. So my final answer will be 12.07 centimeters squared. Beautiful. There's my final answer, and I've got full marks. Okay, so they want us here to find the area of a sector. So we've got a certain part of the circle. So when we're finding an area of a sector, what we often say is we've got a certain part of the circle and we're going to times it by the formula for area of a circle, which is pi r squared. So let's have a look. First of all, what's our radius? Let's go double check over here. We've got that, which is 7. So over here, how much of the circle have I got? I've got 120. So I'll go 120 out of 360 times pi times 7 squared. So you're going to go type that out in your calculator, exactly how you see that, and get your answer. Okay, so it says to 2 decimal places, so be careful with that. And I got 51.312. So I look at this one. This is not above 5. So this one remains the same. So the answer is 51.31. And what was the unit? Millimeters squared, because it's area. Awesome, done. Okay, so now we're doing area of a composite shape. When you have composite shapes, it means it's more than one shape put together, yeah? So more than one shape put together. So if you have a look, I'm going to call this shape, this part of my area, this is going to be my shape 1, yeah? And I'll call this one here my shape 2, okay? So when I am finding the area of this shape, I'm going to say the area of this shape is going to be this part, yeah? So this part plus the area of the triangle. Okay, so we've written that. So now I'm going to write the formulas for area of those parts. So here I've got this shape here. So they said that's 4. And I'm going to say it's a quarter of a circle. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah? So I'm going to say a quarter of the formula for area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Then eventually I'll plus, and I've got a triangle here, right angle triangles, which I know if I look up my formulas, triangle is a half times base times height. So I'm going to call this the base. This is the base along there, and this one is the height along here. Do we know what this length is? What happens if I have the center of the circle? If it's 4 out to there, what is it? It's 4. So we actually do know that one. So it's 4 because it's the same length as that radius. So I know that this is 4. Okay, so then type in all the numbers that you now know. So we've still got a quarter times pi times the radius square, which is 4. And then I've got plus a half times the base, which is 5, times the height, which is 4. Now you can type all of that in one go on your calculator, and that's what I would like you to do to find the area. So type that all out. Okay, so we got 22.566. We had a look at that. That was above 5. So the area ended up with, so this is actually the final area of the composite shape, 22.57 meters squared.